welcome to Time Between Times storytelling with me, Owen Staton. The sun is shining bright in the sky. I think that summer may be upon us. The days are long, the nights are dark and short, but there are still time for tales. Welcome, my friends, to Time Between Times storytelling. The time between times, the time when it is neither night nor day, but the sun has gone and the sky is grey. The time when the veil between our world and the fairy world grows wafer thin. So thin that for a few moments they can reach into our realm, and for a few moments we can reach into theirs. Now is the time that people see lights in the sky. Now is the time that people see ghosts. Now is the time of fairy. But sit back with me and know that you are safe here at the Time Between Times. We sit on the logs around the fire pit and listen to a tale traditionally told. And today I have a special one for you. One that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. One that sent a shiver down my back. One that made me think twice about going out after dark. But here it is for you on perhaps the brightest day, to remind us that sometimes the dark is a good place also. And even though we are in the height of summer, do not worry about the oncoming of winter. Let us live in the now. Many years ago and many miles away, there lived a shoekeeper called Rabbi. Rabbi would make shoes all day long, all night long. Rabbi worked harder than anyone in the village. Before the sun rose and before the sun set, he would still be making shoes all day long. His shoes were the finest to be found anywhere. All the villagers wore Rabbi's shoes, and people would come from miles around to buy a pair. But he was a modest man, a hard-working man. Bright orange hair that stretched to the sky. His hands were calloused. He'd worked so long. But on this day of all days, the sun had yet to rise. Rabbi the shoemaker was sitting at his desk, hammering away at a new pair of boots that he was about to make, when with a creak the door to his shop opened, and in walked a man in a long black cloak with a wide-brimmed hat, his face almost covered. So pale was the man that Rabbi sat back. Could I help you, sir? Could I help you, please? I will take one boot. Make the other today, and I will buy the second tomorrow. You will get the money from me when the second boot is made. The man reached across the desk, his long fingernails and white hands gleaming. Rabbi leaned back, did not stop the man as he took the boot. Walked outside the shop. Rabbi rushed to the window and saw the man putting the boot on his foot, and then saw him hobble down the street. Rabbi immediately started to worry. What if the man didn't come back? He had already invested a lot of money in creating this boot. He rushed to the doorway, locked the shop, watched the man walk down the street. He followed him down, took a left turn, down another road, took a right turn, until he came to the church. Rabbi could just hear the cock crowing as the man stepped into the churchyard. As Rabbi watched, his heart felt like it was going to burst from his chest as the man clambered down into a grave. Hands reached up and pulled the earth back on him. Terrified, Rabbi ran back to the shop and opened it, wondering all day what he was to do. It seems a spectre had walked the streets in order to get boots from Rabbi. What shall I do? What shall I do? He called. I will await and see what happens. All that day he made the second boot. All that night he sat upright in the shop, wondering what would happen. And the next day, at the Time Between Times, again, a limping, scratching, scuffing sound could be heard outside the shop. And then the door opened, and in walked the man with the wide-brimmed hat, as pale as death itself. This time he placed 3 coins on the desk. "I have come for the other boot." Rabbi reached under the desk, placed the boot upon it. "Here it is, sir. Here it is." The figure turned around, walked out of the shop, and Rabbi rushed to the window and saw him placing the other boot on his foot, striding off down the road. Rabbi looked at the coins in his hand. He had made the money, but surely this was not right. That night he went home to his family and told them exactly what had happened. They called the local sheriff, some of Rabbi's friends, who all agreed to go to the churchyard and find out exactly what was going on. They went to where Rabbi had told them, and there, sure enough, was a freshly dug grave. Using a shovel, they dug deep, and there, under the ground, was the man wearing the new boots. Knowing not what to do, the people covered the grave up and went back to their house. "Rabbi, why have you told us this?" "Oh, I don't know. I felt I had to share it." "Beware, my friends. Beware he does not come to your shops." That night was long. The next morning, the people were aghast when the shoemaker's shop did not open. They waited till the sun was at its zenith, and still there was no sign of Rabbi or the shop. They went back to his house to see if he was ill, but the shop remained closed. Day turned to night, and day turned to weeks. Still there was no sign of Rabbi. So his family and friends gathered together and walked once again to the churchyard. There they found the grave. They dug deep once more. Sure enough, they found the body of the man in the wide-brimmed hat, the long coat, wearing 2 brand new boots. But this time, in his hand, was a clump of bright red hair. It seemed that Rabbi had told his secret, and something beyond the grave was not happy with it. Rabbi was never seen ever again, but his story has been passed down from generations, father to son, mother to daughter, until it came to me. And today, I tell it to you. I hope you enjoyed that tale, my friends, a dark one indeed. The Shoemaker and the Spectre. Thank you for joining me here at the Time Between Times again. Thank you ever so much for your continued support. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe. Have a look at my podcast, Time Between Times Storytelling on Podcast. That goes from strength to strength. There are more listeners every week, which is absolutely fantastic. I also have a gaming channel, Adventures at the Time Between Times, and you are welcome to join me there. I am on Twitter, at Owen S. Griffiths, and any suggestions you have, please write to me on email, owenstaton@aol.com. If you're feeling really generous, you can buy me a coffee at ko-fi.com/Owen Staton. But in the meantime, forget your cares and your worries. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a tale being told in a traditional way. A tale at the time between times. See you soon, my friends. No star. Take care.